Hey, what is up, y'all? Welcome to the first ever inaugural Caffeinated Soul Cafe podcast. I'm your host, Alex. Joining me are two of my close friends, James, my partner in crime, and Kavi, my crime and partner. Someone called us the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, but sure. Today we are discussing the 2025 Game Awards. This beautiful thing right here. The nominees have just come out today, and I thought it'd be nice to have the thoughts of people that I know who have been involved in gaming for as long as I have, for the most part, as well as just different perspectives, potentially, right? So we're gonna go down the list. We're going to see what we think about each thing. Is there anything you feel that could have been added to this or doesn't deserve to be on the nominee category? Yeah. How's that sound?
Okay. Perfect.
Okay, so first of all, the big one, the one that they're going to do at the very end of the show. Oh my god, sorry. Game of the Year. So we have Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 On the Beach, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silksong, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Now, of the games here, I haven't played Hades 2 yet. I haven't played Hollow Knight yet, or I should say Silksong yet. And I haven't played Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. What about you guys?
I've just started Clair Obscur Expedition 33, so yeah, and I haven't touched any of the other 5 on the list.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm pretty much on the same boat as you, Alex. And Death Stranding I haven't played myself, but I've been watching some playthroughs.
Twitch.tv/Caffeinated Soul, YouTube at Caffeinated Soul, Death Stranding 2 playthrough. Shameless plug. Yeah, so I feel from this list here, 2 of the games stand out to me where it's like, I mean, I haven't played Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, so I don't know if that really is like that great of a game that it beats out everything else that came out this year. But Donkey Kong Bonanza, I don't think is Game of the Year material. Like, that was a game,
right,
when I streamed it. Like, the first 2 levels, very cool, showing off, I guess, the added power that Switch 2 has, and the more like creativeness that Nintendo can do with that extra bit of power, now that they're finally caught up in like actual console power, for lack of better words. But it's not Game of the Year material. It's very like, it does one thing, it does it pretty well, and then it gets boring.
Right. Yes. I agree in the fact that it's a pretty solid game, right? It really showed off what the Switch 2 could do. The number one thing that really bothered me about that game is that there were some questionable, or I should say, some really weird design choices in the fact that it gave you the freedom to climb and explore a lot of places, right? But it suddenly stopped at an invisible wall, right? So you're suddenly playing, getting immersed, and then you hit that invisible wall, right? There were some climbing sections, for example, where shall I say it needed some yellow paint on the walls.
Yes. Kavi, any thoughts on Donkey Kong? Have you watched any gameplay at all of it?
I'm staying away from anything Nintendo related, so I can't really say anything about it because I don't own a Switch 2 myself, so anything Nintendo related, I'm just staying away from until next year.
What would you have put instead of Donkey Kong then?
Ooh, the games that came out this year. I guess the only
Dispatch.
new game, the only new game that came out this year that I enjoyed playing was probably Dispatch. So I
Okay.
would probably add that.
You know what's crazy though is that I think Dispatch came out a bit too late to qualify for this, so it might show up next year,
Or-
maybe. But
Yeah, maybe.
so then from here, what do we think between Clair Obscur, Death Stranding, Hades, and Hollow Knight? Which one has the best chance to actually win Game of the Year?
Expedition 33. I'm a little biased, but that's the answer that makes the most sense.
Okay.
It's the only game I've been playing on this list, so
Damn.
Expedition 33.
Damn.
I mean, because I haven't played any of the other games, I can't really like personally convey any opinions on those games. But
Mhm.
from what I've personally played from Expedition, I'm like enjoying it right now. So like the QTEs and the soundtrack and everything about it is amazing. So for me, it would just go Expedition.
I definitely am torn between Expedition and Death Stranding. As you guys know, because you can see like over there, I still got the Death Stranding setup going. Yeah, I think Clair Obscur kind of was like this surprise that it was as good as it is, and you know, the fact that a turn-based RPG is a Game of the Year contender, I think is just a shock for everyone in the industry. Whereas Death Stranding 2, I think on a technical level, far surpasses all the other games on this list in terms of like visual fidelity. The fact that it basically had almost no load times except for like a few rare instances. They cleaned up the gameplay, created a much more interesting loop that Kojima was trying to create with the first one. Not so story and soundtrack as well. But I mean, if it was Jeff Keighley's personal choice, he'd do Death Stranding because he's in bed with Kojima. But because it is voted by a bunch of various like a judges panel of like, what was it? It's like different reviewers, a few producers and directors, and like a few other people. Like, we don't know the full voting panel, but it's like people who are like highly regarded in the industry that are also sort of handpicked by Keighley. But I could see them all leaning to Clair Obscur because it kind of revitalized the genre that people had put to the wayside. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Question though.
Yeah.
If Clair Obscur had the budget that Death Stranding 2 had, would it be an even bigger game than it already is?
I mean, I could see that, yeah. I mean, and that's potentially what they would do for a sequel, right? Where, hey, our game now made and did, whatever $1 million, sold however many million copies, right? We've proven that this game works, that our design works. Now when we do our sequel, it's even bigger and grander, right? I could see argument for that. James, thoughts?
Yeah, so as much as I respect Kojima,
And cosplay him, yeah.
yeah, every day. I think he just went off the rails with Death Stranding in general when it comes to the story, right? He's always had shall we say a very special artistic eye when it came to writing his games.
Yeah.
Right. You could always see like some certain level of wackiness, right?
Yeah.
But it kind of works, right? And it's like kind of like it's like super charming, right? But yeah, he kind of jumped the shark with Death Stranding. I think it became really hard for me to follow the story, if you know what I mean. And that, in my eyes, just takes a little bit of off of its chances to win Game of the Year. But regardless, even if Death Stranding or Kingdom Come or whichever game wins, this is a really, really good year for indie games.
Yes.
And I'm a really big fan of indies, as you guys know.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
But overall,
yeah, the fact.
sorry, go on.
The fact that what, like 1, 2, 3, 4-ish games here are technically indie games, even though they're more like because before we had, you know, the AAA studio, AA, single A, and then kind of the indie space. I feel, you know, Supergiant that does Hades, they're more of like a AA studio now. They're not really as much of an indie studio. And I mean, and Clair Obscur, while it is like, oh, it's an indie studio, it's made up of like ex Ubisoft people, and you know, they teamed up with whichever Korean company to do some of the animations. So, I mean, it's indie light. But
So to backtrack, from like when you asked me what my game of the year, I just thought of something
yeah, what did you think of
that I did play this year. The Blueprints.
Blueprints?
I feel like could be nominated.
Okay.
Or should have been nominated. Because I did enjoy that game.
Okay. I played it one time on stream. I haven't touched it since.
I was enjoying all like the puzzling of that game. So
Yeah.
I guess that could have been nominated.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Well, I mean, we'll get to the other categories and see what they decide. So that was Game of the Year. My bet's probably going to be Clair Obscur. I think we're in agreement. Clair Obscur is probably going to win Game of the Year. Again.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see the argument for Hades 2 or Silk Song. But with the way the industry literally moved for Clair Obscur, I think that one's the lock-in. Anyways, moving forward, I do game direction. So I do have a little blurb on what game direction represents. So recognizes the creative vision and leadership behind a game's development. So once again, we have Clair Obscur, Death Stranding, Hades. But now we also have Ghosts of Yote and Split Fiction by our favorite Frenchman who's super crazy. Right. Game direction. All 5 of these games like literally are like some of the top like designed directed games I've seen in a long time. Like Clair Obscur, you really do feel like you are in a painted world. Death Stranding's post-apocalyptic world is one of the most, you know, visually impressive, and the creative decision behind, you know, pseudo invisible enemies and, you know, like upside down undead whales flying in the air, just nutso. Ghosts of Yote, they did so much. Like that one, I'm in the process of uploading the final parts of it onto YouTube, and like it took Ghosts of Yote for me to realize that the photo mode is an actual worthwhile thing in games. It took however many years it's been since they introduced photo mode. Ghosts of Yote was one where I was like, holy shit, photo mode is legit. Hades 2, again, super striking, artwork is beautiful, great soundtrack. And Split Fiction, which I haven't played yet, but I think the idea of going between multiple genres in one game is cool. What do you think, James?
Yeah, this is gonna be a really tough one. Arguably much tougher decision than Game of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
Man, for this one, in my head I have a 3-way tie between Ghost, Death Stranding and Expedition 33.
Mm.
Ghost feels like a really, really well done film. It feels like something that that was shot in Hollywood with hundreds of millions of dollars. That's Stranding. I know that I said Kojima kind of jumped the shark with the story, but the world that he crafted is absolutely crazy, and he made it work. Right, with especially with the visuals, he really tried to immerse you into his crazy story. Expedition 33, you can tell that a lot of the people who worked on that game were very artistically inclined. Not only were most of the cutscenes, most of their frames, like screenshot worthy, but just walking around the levels just felt like I don't know about you guys, but I felt really awestruck every time I just walked around just looking for collectibles.
Especially once the world map opens up and you're able to really get a sense of like just what's happening in the world. Yeah, I can see that. Kavi, what about you?
I mean, to like piggyback off what James said, like I agree, it is like a three-way tie, I guess, just because of the fact that like out of these five, I guess the most recognizable names to me besides, I mean, like, yes, Hades, but Ghost of Yotei, like piggybacking off of Ghost of Tsushima, and then you have Death Stranding 2 and Clay Obscure, who were also nominated for Game of the Year. Like, their directions are just phenomenal in a sense that what's the word? Like they knew what they were doing in a sense that like they knew what they wanted to show to their audiences and like what their audiences enjoy about their games, because both Death Stranding 2 and Ghost of Yotei and Hades 2 are sequels coming off of like their previous games, and like they all have like what their first game had, but just made it a lot better. So I guess like their directors knew what worked in their games and just made it better for their sequels.
It's funny that you bring that up, that a lot of these games are sequels. That almost makes it like more impressive that Clair Obscur immediately jumped up to being such a high degree of direction. I mean, that comment alone almost sells me on the fact that Clair Obscur is probably going to win game direction as well. Unless by some miracle, they're like, oh man, that one shot of Norman Reedus, beautiful. Death Stranding 2.
To add to your comment, Alex, I think that being an indie game actually helped Expedition 33 in this case, because had the studio had investors, right, they probably wouldn't have approved a lot of ideas they were going with. That's what I feel, anyways.
Yeah, I could see the fact that, like, you know, oh, you're trying to make, I mean, we actually know, we kind of know that already, where like these guys left Ubisoft because Ubisoft didn't want to make an RPG. They wanted to do, you know, the action adventure games with RPG elements, like their most recent Assassin's Creed. So I mean, yeah, I mean that lines up. That lines up. Okay, we'll move on. Best adaptation. So these are for the things that have gone TV shows or movies made of them. So we have the Minecraft movie, which I honestly completely forgot about until seeing this. I forgot that was like one of the highest grossing movies of the year. And a lot of the reason why I forgot about that was because K-pop Demon Hunters completely overshadowed this movie. We also have Devil May Cry, Last of Us Season 2, Splinter Cell Death Watch, which I haven't watched yet, and Until Dawn, which I heard was very okay. Kavi, why don't you let us know which of these have you seen so far?
So I watched a Minecraft movie, I watched Devil May Cry, and I watched the Until Dawn movie. Still waiting to watch The Last of Us Season 2 and Splinter Cell. Based off that, I would say that from what I've seen of the three that I've watched, the one I've enjoyed the most is Devil May Cry. Although it might be biased because, you know, like, I love my Dante, I love my Virgil.
I mean, we're all Devil May Cry boys here for sure.
Yeah,
but
it's just like from like seeing like what I play on my game console to like what I saw on Netflix, it was pretty great. Like the way I saw Dante, I'm like, okay, this is the Dante that I see in the games, which is nice. But with the other two, like the Minecraft movie, it was just a movie. It didn't feel like it was based off the game. Like I wouldn't say it's an adaptation of, okay, so this is what's in game and here's what it is to movies. Until Dawn, it was kind of a bore to me. I kind of fell asleep through it. So I could see, I mean, it probably was one of the only other movies that came out for adaptation, but I don't understand why that's on the list. But out of the other four, I would probably give it to Devil May Cry.
Okay, James?
So I can only speak in depth for Devil May Cry and Last of Us. Minecraft, I've only seen clips, and I have Splinter Cell on my to-watch list later this month. So, out of the two that I know the most about in this list, I don't know. Okay, you know what? Let me say what kind of didn't work for me about Devil May Cry and Last of Us Season 2.
Yeah.
Alright, so Last of Us Season 2, I find that while it was a really good adaptation, right, I didn't feel as emotionally invested as when I played the games. I don't know if, I don't really blame the show itself for this. I think this is just different mediums accomplish different sort of things kind of topic.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, when we play games, right, we immerse ourselves in the game, right? We are the characters that we play as, right? And that really worked in favor with The Last of Us 2's plot twist, quote unquote plot twist in the beginning, yeah. Right? So yeah, when you boot up Last of Us 2 and then see that cutscene for the first time, right? You're like, oh shoot, that was me in the first game. No more, right? So I didn't really feel that kind of the same level of investment when I was watching the show, right? But overall, I think it was still a really good adaptation, right? Now, the thing that didn't work for me about Devil May Cry was the fact that I guess they crammed too much, too many references, too many Easter eggs into it. It felt a little distracting. And Dante, I don't know if it's because of the voice actor,
Johnny Bosch, yeah.
Dante felt like he felt like he didn't feel very Dante-ish. He felt like a combination, right?
Yeah.
Of like Dante and Hero and like like all these things.
Yeah, that's kind of where I am with Devil May Cry as well, where it's like, I forget the guy's name. It's like something. What was it? Devil May Cry Netflix.
Oh, the voice actor, Johnny Youngblood.
Not the
right?
voice actor. The
Director.
The director.
Oh, Ali Shankar. Yeah.
Yeah. So while the Castlevania stuff was like super fantastic, like the Castlevania stuff reignited like my love for Castlevania to the point where I went and like, I went and literally got like another DS just so I could play the Castlevania games again in portable fashion, right? And I feel like he tried to do the same thing with Devil May Cry, but he shot, like you said, he shot a little bit too far. In one, trying to do a completely new story, but not new at the same time within the Devil May Cry universe, because it's separate from the games, yet it references the games on many different levels. And yeah, I think the fact that, we're so used to hearing Ruben Langdon as Dante, that hearing the voice actor for Nero, Johnny Bosch, be Dante, that it's kind of like, what's happening? It's almost like, what is it called? What's the effect called? Where it's like, it's Uncanny Valley. Right, but it's like an audio Uncanny Valley, because it's like you're seeing Dante, but you're hearing Nero. And
right.
I almost wonder, like, if Johnny Bosch, like, was there any hesitation for him to like try and be more like Ruben? And it's like, and did they not reach out to Ruben at all for this? Was it because of the fact that he had some weird nonsense going on during the pandemic where I think he was supposedly like an anti-vaxxer or something, and that's why they were like, hey, we're not going to approach him for this role. And then they also didn't get Danny Southworth. Is it Southworth or Southward? Southworth? Nope, not Southworth. What's his name? Yes, Daniel Southworth. They didn't get him for Virgil, which is also like, how do you not get Virgil's literal voice for Virgil? Yeah, I don't know. It was fun, but like it didn't hit all the marks, and that's where I feel like it falters a little bit. Even the like, minor spoilers if you somehow have not seen Devil May Cry on Netflix yet, but when Dante goes Devil Trigger, first of all, they play Nero's theme, a different version of Nero's theme from Devil May Cry 5, right? Which, sure, Devil Trigger is a hype song, but why are you playing some weird ass version of it and not like a really heavy remix? Or instead, you could have just done a different rendition of any of Dante's themes from other games, right? From like the other 4 games, right? You could have done Lock and Load, his original theme. You could have done whatever the theme was in Devil May Cry 2 if you wanted to do that. Could have done Devils Never Cry. Could have done the crazier version of Lock and Load Devil May Cry 4, or they even could have done what the hell is his theme in Devil May Cry 5? Oh,
Subhuman.
Yeah, Subhuman. Yeah, they could have done Subhuman as well. Like, there's so many things they could have done instead of Devil Trigger. The one thing I will give their music though is that super creepy version of Bury the Light that they did for when Virgil first showed up, when he was like walking out of the fire. That was sick. That was good. After that, he spoke with 2 lines and it fucking ruined the whole thing.
now that you say that, how did Dante or like the copycat monster runner like knew what Virgil looked like as an adult?
Right. The more you think about it, the more plot holes there are in it, and that's why when they eventually actually it's getting season 2.
Yeah.
Like they need to tighten up some of that stuff. I don't know. Anyways, Last of Us season 2, I haven't watched it yet. I've only watched season 1. And season 1 to me, like it super nailed the feel of Last of Us without getting into like the video game-ness of it, and was a really good entry point for people who want to experience a different version of like the zombie apocalypse. I've heard, and this is where I was like, oh my god, what are you guys doing? I've heard from multiple people who have watched it that season 2 carries the same sort of like quality of season 1, but makes the exact same mistake that the game did, which is that it's now when they do season 3, which is essentially season 2 part 2, it's just going to backtrack all the way back to the beginning and then tell Abby's story, which to me was always like the most horrendous point, or part I should say, of Last of Us part 2, which is, why am I playing through Ellie for 6 hours, and then now you're making me play as Abby through the exact same 6 hours I just played. I don't care about any of these characters because I know they're going to die, right? Like, it should have been day 1 Ellie, day 1 Abby, and so on and so forth, so that way like you get the juxtaposition, or maybe let you even choose which character you want to play first, and then play the other person's story afterwards.
It would be easier to connect to the characters too that way.
Right? Because I thought Last of Us season 2, again, based off of what Neil Druckmann was initially saying about it, and I swear he said that he wanted to make it like a more fine-tuned, refined version of the part 2 story. But it sounds like it just tread the same ground in the exact same way with the exact same flashback problems it's going to have, right? I don't know. And then Minecraft movie, I mean, we all know the chicken jockey meme and all that disturbance it caused. Splinter Cell, again, I also haven't watched it yet. I'll probably watch it maybe tomorrow. Just see how it is. Maybe I'll add a little thing in the notes right here, this part of the video. If I think it's actually better than everything else, you'll see a thing on screen that says Splinter Cell is the clear winner. And Until Dawn, everything about the remake and then the movie, I was like, there's no point to this. The first game was perfect. You don't need to touch this. You can't do a movie like this. The closest thing to this would have been like, what was it? Bandersnatch on Netflix.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right. Like you can't take a pick your option matters game and turn that into a movie when every person's gameplay choices were vastly different when they first played the game. Right? There is no, there was like a true ending, but for a lot of people, they played it once and then that was it.
You know what? They should have filmed like 4 different versions of Until Dawn. Should have sold like tickets for Until Dawn version 1, 2, and 3 and 4, and then make
the director's cut.
Yeah.
Just the director's cut.
Yeah.
And then have the editor's cut and the cut.
Maybe they will in the future at some point. So I think from this, unless when I watch Splinter Cell, it's going to be amazing. I actually think Minecraft movie is going to win, just because it made the most money out of all of this.
Yeah, I agree. I expected the Minecraft movie to bomb, but no, I was that wrong. They did a great job at weaponizing their fans.
Weaponizing their fans.
It's every kid and their mom going to watch this movie.
Yeah, so I'd say it's Minecraft movie, and then like a close second is like Devil May Cry, but it has too many issues to keep up. All right, Next category, best narrative. So pretty self-explanatory. It's about the storytelling and the impact that this game's plot has on you, the player. So once again, we have the 4 games that we had for best game direction, but we now also have Silent Hill F. The one thing Silent Hill games are good for is the story. And as you know, I can say Silent Hill F. I would actually put Silent Hill F over Kingdom Come Deliverance in that game of the year space. Because even though it wasn't as good as Silent Hill 2, just the themes of it are super strong and like really make you think, man, about just like the cultural impact that Japan has on the whole like marriage policies and, you know, like being a woman and essentially not having a choice in your life, right? And trying to find your own path back in when did it take place? It took place in like the 60s or something. Wild, absolutely wild, right? But aside from that, clear obscure, the whole narrative. And Kavi, I'm sorry if I spoil anything for you as you're playing through it.
Don't care.
All right. Sorry to anyone watching or listening as well.
Don't do it, Alex.
Game's been out for a while. Game's been out for a while.
But the whole narrative of essentially, you know, the stages of what's it called? What was the 5 stages of depression? No, 5 stages of grief. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Right. And like essentially how each of Mael's family represented a stage of grief. And, you know, just like the fact that like the whole thing of like, oh, this painting was made by Verso and they're trying to hold on to it. Some of them are trying to hold on to it for the wrong reasons while others are trying to get out of it. Like just, oh my God. Like, and then the very end, like picking like Verso's ending, I think is the clear like canon one. If we had to choose a canon ending, the one where he accepts death and, you know, the family is forced out of the painting and it's like you have to live with the fact that this happened and move on with life. I think that's the correct ending. But the Mael ending, like, goddamn, I think my man Ben Starr, he is going to win something. I don't know if it's going to be on Game Awards, or maybe it might be for the Joystick Awards, but like that was a chilling goddamn like last 10 minutes of Verso's life and Mael's ending. Like, oh jeez.
Yeah, he just wanted to die.
Then, yeah, go on, James.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I'm pretty sure Expedition 33 is gonna take this for sure. Not only does it have a beautiful story, but it also uses its soundtrack, its music as another layer to add onto the storytelling.
Yes.
Paying attention to the soundtrack will help you immerse yourself in the story even more.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even though you gotta learn French to do that, or go find translation online, like, oh man, that soundtrack, that when it hits, it hits, right? Death Stranding 2. Oh my God, where do I even begin with this? It's good, but I still don't know what happened. The you know, the immediate impact it had on me was, wow, I wish I could play more of it, but there isn't any more to play once I was done the game. I'm excited for if we, do a Death Stranding 3, again, spoilers, featuring Tomorrow as the main character instead of Sam. I'm excited to explore that idea, but like, I feel like a lot of the issues, a lot of the narrative, problems, and by problems I mean just like, for your story, you have to have a problem for your protagonist to solve. I think that those problems were already solved in the first game. And this was just Kojima expanding on the idea of the repercussions. And that's it. And then for whatever reason, he was like, oh yeah, by the way, I love Troy Baker, so I'm going to have him come back. Like, that was it. For why Higgs was still involved. Like, it literally could have been any other antagonist, but they're like, no, Troy Baker. So, Ghost of Yotei, as I said, and if you watch the YouTube stuff, the final 2 videos would be uploaded later on after this. I said in the stream that everything but the narrative of Yotei was stronger than Tsushima, but Tsushima had a very strong story, and Yotei just was kind of like a generic revenge plot, right? So, And the Kingdom Come Deliverance, again, I have no idea. Maybe that's gonna have to stream in the future just to check it out, see what it's about, right? Because if it's really like this good, then like I'm shocked more people aren't talking about it. What did it get? Let's see. Kingdom Come Deliverance, Metacritic. Metacritic. I mean, overall Metacritic score is a 76.
Oh.
If we're doing critic reviews, an 8 for user score. So I'm very curious as to why this game over some of the other stuff. But what are your guys' thoughts on the best narrative of the year? Was there anything else that you played that you think is a better narrative than these ones? Dispatched?
I mean, because it is a narrative-driven game where you're kind of picking the plots, but that's just beside the point. But yeah, no, honestly, for me, because I'm not really into multiplayers, I am someone who plays narrative-driven games. The game that I wanted to pick up as soon as it came out was Clair Obscur. Like, I remember even asking Alex when he was streaming it, I'm like, how was it? Like, is it any good? Because I think that night I picked it up. I just never had the chance to play it because I didn't have time. But yeah, like, for me, like, from watching the trailers and whatnot, like, that was the game that piqued my interest, like, from whatever's on this list, where I was like, I need to pick up this game right away to play it, because I feel like the story for this would be good. And from what I've seen, like, the amount of nominees that it's got just so far from what we saw, I mean, it should be a clear winner for this as well.
James, anything to add on before we move on?
Yeah, I think you pretty much, we pretty much share the same thoughts, Alex. Yeah, I think Expedition 33 is gonna win this. Okay. But Silent Hill, I wouldn't be mad if Silent Hill does win this.
Yeah, like if Silent Hill won over Clair Obscur, I would 100% be fine with that. It's a very strong story. It also just has its issues, but I think Clair Obscur is probably just going to ride the coattails of everything and just win that way. Okay, moving on. Art direction. Now this is where it's a huge wild card for me, because art direction is super subjective, right? You cannot all five of these games, very different. Clair Obscur, Death Stranding, Ghost of Yotei, Hades 2, Silk Song. Clair Obscur looks visual. I mean, the art style reminds me more of like a PS3 era game than, you know, current generation. It just happens to have, you know, current generation fidelity. Death Stranding 2 has literal, like, lifelike visuals. That opening sequence, I swear to God, was the actual, like, Sahara Desert and not just a thing that was rendered in Unreal, or not Unreal, and Decima, right? Like, wild visuals. Ghost of Yotei, while the visuals are not as good as Death Stranding 2 in terms of, like, fidelity, the color scheming and the use of, like, lighting makes that game look super fantastic. Again, sold me on photo mode more than anything else, right? Hades 2, same art style as Hades 1. We already know it's fantastic. People love it. And then Silk Song, same as original Hollow Knight. I feel it's just pushed a little bit more because it's, you know, it's, people have been waiting so long for it that people remember how good Hollow Knight looked before. I mean, if for my pick personally, I would say best art direction is I give it to Death Stranding only because the minor details are so much greater in that game, because you can actually really get into the minor details and look at these things. I would not be surprised if Clair Obscur wins. I think Death Stranding 2 blows all the other games out of the water when you go down to the actual details of the art. James, you are our resident artist here. Sort of. What do you think?
Well, as a certified artist, I am biased towards Expedition 33.
Oh my god.
But I do think all these games, like you said, Alex, they pretty much have a lot going for them. It wouldn't surprise me if any of these win, right?
Yeah.
Despite my own bias, right? For example, Clair Obscur, I think it deserves to win because it has a blend of I guess technical quality, and it makes with a lot of very interesting artistic choices, right? Like I said a little bit before, right? Every time I found myself like going through these levels, right, I was just wowed at like how just little details, like where things were placed, where certain lights were shining, things like that, right? That not only helped me immerse, but just like I just wish there was a photo mode in that game. I don't know why there isn't. Death Stranding, it could win because of its technical prowess, I should say. It is by far, out of all these games, the one that has the most, I guess, crisp graphics.
Yeah, Kojima and the Decima engine, like that's actual like voodoo black magic that they got. Things look, even on like a base PS5, it looks insane.
Yeah, everything from facial expressions to like little pebbles on the ground. It's just like, what the hell, man? Like, it's wild. Ghost of Yotei, it's in between a little bit. You know, if we have Clair Obscur in one end of the spectrum, and then Death Stranding the other, I think Ghost of Yotei is like in the middle. It's like a mix of two. Right? It's not better than the previous two in any of those categories, but you know, it does both very, very well. The last two nominees, Hades and Silk Song, they pretty much on the same category in the same sense that they have very charming art styles. Right? People have come to love them. They work really well. Like pretty much every character and every enemy in those games are pretty well designed, and they pretty much they showed again that you don't need to throw millions of dollars in order to make a game work.
Fair. Kavi, thoughts? Best art direction?
I would I agree with both of y'all, like, in a sense that Clair Obscur might win. But yeah, all the other games are strong contenders. Like, I mean, you said like Hades 2 and Hollow Knight 2, Silk Song are like pretty much the same as what they originally were from Hollow Knight and Hades. I mean, don't fix what's not broke, right? So like, if it worked for the original games, then they continued it with those two. But yeah, I would say that Clair Obscur might win this one, but a close second would probably be Death Stranding 2.
I just think that, especially with the push right now in, we'll say Hollywood, but the push for much more like very art focused movies, even if they're not like the highest grossing, but in terms of like styling, like K-pop Demon Hunters and even Frankenstein, which just came out recently, like visually those movies are just, you don't even have to care about the story, but just looking at the movies, you're like, wow, these are fantastic looking. I think as we, as a society start leaning more into that type of movie, it'll follow suit with games, where I think Death Stranding 2 will win because it is, it's like, here is a normal person right here standing in front of you, like Norman Reedus. We know who Norman Reedus is, and you put him beside, these giant oil beasts. You put him next to literal mecha things in the same shot, along with a crazy man with a guitar. And it's like your brain overloads on everything that's happening. And that's not me mentioning, the lighting and the fact that the background is like a solar eclipse that's happening at the same time. It's just nonsense. And that every little visual that's given to you is connected to something in the game narratively as well. And Clair Obscur does the same thing, just in a very different way. And I think that's where, the coin flip happens, where you have the monsters that some of them are just, whatever little things that were made by, again, spoilers, by Verso initially. But then you have the ones that were painted in by their mother, which are aspects of grief as well when you really look at them. So, it's tough. It's tough. I'm gonna stick with Death Stranding.
All right. You want to bet, Alex?
Oh, I'll bet you. Oh, what will I bet you? Okay. What do I want to bet? Oh no. What's the bet? I will bet you a holiday name choice at work.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. I'm saying Death Stranding, you're saying Clair Obscur? Okay. All right. There we go. Moving on. Witness. Best score in music. I think, again, so same games, just in a different order. Yeah. Very weird.
Yep.
This is where I bow out. Clair Obscur is winning this. If Clair Obscur doesn't win, then people have lost their minds. Silk Song, I listened to the soundtrack. It's okay. It's moody. Hades 2, great soundtrack. I mean, I still listen to the Hades 1 soundtrack every now and then. Solid. Ghost of Yote. It emulates Tsushima. I think Jin Sakai's theme is one of the best character themes made in the modern, like in the PS4/5 era. And spoilers. When you get to Jin Sakai's grave in Yote and they're playing his theme, I felt that. I was like, holy shit, I forgot how good this theme was. Right? But then the rest of the game, it's like, sure. I mean, I was playing on the Watanabe mode, where all the music is lo-fi samurai hip-hop. So my playthrough was definitely a little bit different than, I guess, the intended playthrough. It was more like a chill vibe than it was, 1600s samurai epic. But I did listen to the original soundtrack, and you are forced to listen to the original score during major story moments. It's just in the open world, it's a different thing. I do, but that's another aspect I'll get to in a moment. Death Stranding 2. As much as I love the soundtrack of the game, there's only a few original songs in it. A lot of it is just Kojima taking music from indie artists and that he likes and putting them in the game, to the point where some of my videos got copyrights on them because the music existed already, right? The only song in Death Stranding 2 that I think is like a really good one, similar to how in Alan Wake 2 we had the dance sequence song, right? Herald of Darkness. In Death Stranding 2, it's the lullaby, BB's theme, which is kind of like the main theme song for the game, but that pales in comparison to Clear Obscure. Like, holy shit, man. Simon's theme. Well, oh my god, why is Simon's theme? What was it called again? I think it's called like We Lost or something like that. Crazy theme. The vocals of Bury the Light lent his voice to that. That's how you know it's a good theme. And why they're going to win music and score. Any thoughts that to prove this point wrong, or should we just continue?
Oh, I agree.
No. That's it's pretty much a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
The thing that's gonna make Expedition 33 the de facto winner in this category is the fact that sure, like all these games have good music and all that, right? Some more than others, arguably better tracks than others. But as I said before, Expedition 33's soundtrack adds another layer to the storytelling, something that these other games didn't do.
And you know what about Clear Obscure soundtrack? Another reason why I think it's going to win. The soundtrack is 154 tracks, totaling at 8 hours and 9 minutes. That is Xenoblade levels of music in the game. And the Xenoblade soundtrack on all three games is like just as rich in emotion and depth. And the fact that none of these other games this year really compare to that, I think it's a knockout easily. Let's continue. Audio design. Okay, so this is for the non-music aspects. This is for the immersion, the crunches in the ground, the doors opening, keys unlocking stuff. So we have Battlefield 6, Clear Obscure, Death Stranding, Ghost of Yote, and Silent Hill F. I haven't played Battlefield 6. I haven't played a Battlefield game since Battlefield 3, right? That's how long it's been for me. Clear Obscure, I'm trying to remember back to the audio design, and I don't recall anything really standing out to me. Whereas like Death Stranding 2, like I can think of each of the individual noises of like the thumbs up, you know, every time you complete a mission and get a like. I can think of that. I can think of the sound of the different vehicles speeding up. I can think of the sound that I forget what the ship's name is, but your main hub ship, I can think of the sound that it makes, the boom, 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 like when you get near it. So I think like the audio design there is crazy. Also just the sound of like the BTs when like their handprints, when you get into their area and you hear the footsteps and stuff. So I think that one's like a definitely one top contenders. Ghost of Yote, I mean, I don't think there was any outstanding audio design, really. Like, it sounded like feudal Japan, right? Silent Hill F, I think, I mean, Silent Hill is one of those things where it's like the audio, like you live and die by audio design as a horror game. And I mean, it hit the marks where it needed to, but nothing was overly scary to me, at least. That, mind you, I've become a little bit more numb to horror stuff recently, so I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think Silent Hill has a really good chance of winning this. See, the thing that makes a good horror game is that is the environment, right? It's not the jump scares, you know, generic things that people think of when it comes to horror games. That's not it. A good horror game will make you feel scared, helpless, even when there's nothing going on. Even if you are in the quote-unquote safe house or even the menu, right? And you still have that sense of dread going through you. That's what makes a good horror game. And I would say 50% of that is on the sound design, right? And yeah, just Silent Hill just being solid on that front. I think just alone on that, I think it has a really, really good chance at taking this. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Expedition 33. I would say I don't know. I guess some of the sound cues that you hear when it's time to dodge or parry, they're very important. They were really, really good cues. I relied on that and the zooming in of the screen when it came to parrying. But I guess the zooming in is not part of all the design.
Not really.
I guess.
Unless you can hear the zoom in.
Yeah, you pretty much nailed it on about Death Stranding. It had a lot of very interesting sounds throughout the game, right? Which really fit the whole sci-fi post-apocalyptic sort of narrative.
Yeah. I think that's the one thing that universally Kojima is known for, outside of like the crazy stories and the, you know, trying to push gameplay in, you know, different ways, is the audio design, right? Like even people who do not know video games, they have heard the Metal Gear Solid alert sound, right? They've heard the codec call sound. Some people have it as a default on their phones and they don't even know where it's from, right? Like, I think the audio design for Kojima just kind of pushes everything else away from it. Unless somehow with Battlefield 6 they just got the actual most realistic sounding guns ever now. Kavi, have you listened to any of the actual audio in these games that's not just soundtracks?
Nope, so I can't really say much for that.
Moving on.
So, yeah, that's quiet.
Best performance. All right, so this one, oh my god, there's a lot to unpack here, and we're like an hour ish into our discussion now, and we could spend so much time here. The fact that Charlie Cox, first ever time doing a video game, hasn't really been in anything that I know of outside of Daredevil, is already doing best performance. That's insane. Ben Starr on his epic high of, Rising Star, right? Like jumping from ever since he was Clive, right? In FF16, just every performance has been a knockout that he's done. Who knows? This right here this might not even be his best performance as Verso. This could be in that dating everything game, right? He could, right? Because he was like 20 characters in there or something. We have Erika Ishii, the main star of Ghost of Yotei. Jennifer English, she did Mael.
She did Mael 4,
right? Yeah.
33.
Konatsu Kato is, I think that's Silent Hill F, right?
Yeah.
And she recently just did a full playthrough of the game, which y'all should check out. It's very fun. And of course, Troy Baker as Higgs, basically just being a very unhinged version of himself. It's tough. All of these performances are great. I do think that, unfortunately for Silent Hill F, a lot of the extra performance is locked behind multiple playthroughs. Because this time around, they made the choice where after you beat the first playthrough of the game, you get like the normal ending. And then you have to beat the game at least 3 other times in order to get the different endings all together. Which in each different ending, you get a completely different performance. So that you have to weigh in, that's sort of like how much are you weighing on the fact that you're expecting the player to play through the game multiple times. So I don't know if she'll win. Wouldn't be mad if she does. Troy Baker as Higgs. That was
Also Indiana Jones.
He was also Indiana Jones, but that was last year, I think, that Indiana Jones actually came out on Xbox. Right? Or did that come out this year?
What's this year?
Indiana Jones. Oh, what was it called? What was the game called? Great Circle. When did it come out? No, it was end of last year. So it missed the awards last year by a few days. It came out December 9th. And then didn't really make it for this year. But I mean, who knows?
PS5 version made it for this year.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, if this is, who knows? Maybe this Troy Baker part here is for him in Indiana Jones, literally sounding like Harrison Ford, right? Which he knocked out as well. That was probably the best part of that game when I played it earlier this year, was his performance, gameplay notwithstanding. But as Higgs, like, he outperformed every other actor in Death Stranding 2 for sure. What do we think about the Claire Obscure cast, James? Ben Starr, Charlie Cox, Jennifer English.
Oh, they are so good. Ben Starr, solid performances, not just in E33, but everything he's been in, including that freaking Balatro trailer.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Right. Jennifer English, also extremely solid. Like she went from like nobody in and then she was cast in Baldur's Gate, right? And then she exploded.
Oh, that's right.
She's been great.
She's what, Shadowheart?
Shadowheart, yeah. I don't know, like all these people are so good, but I'm torn between the Expedition people and Troy Baker. Oh man, you know what? Charlie Cox sounded like he gave his all on Expedition 33. I think it was just another day for him. Like I remember, I watched
Gustav,
he did.
Yeah, Gustav. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Charlie did an interview. He said he was in a booth for like 4 hours recording all his lines, and then sometime later, like after the game came out, he was approached by this family. I think it was a family or a few fans, whatever. And Charlie thought it was for Daredevil, right? And then, but they were like, oh, the fans were like, oh, you made such a great job at Gustav. And then Charlie was like, what? Who? Right? Like,
I mean,
he wasn't trying.
You know what?
It's like
this at least opens another avenue for him, where if Marvel fully falls apart and he's out of a job, he can at least go into voice acting.
Yeah. I think just because of that, I'm gonna give it to Charlie.
Okay, Kavi, thoughts?
Yeah, for me, I guess I'm kind of biased towards Ben Stark because of Clive. So
I am as well. Don't worry.
There's that.
I mean, he needs his win that he deserved from last year.
Yeah,
to get this year.
Thing, right? So for that, I would probably give it to Ben Starr. I mean, I guess for me, after finding out, I mean, I haven't finished the game yet, but after finding out about like him being a part of it, I kind of like just YouTubed like his portion of the game. So like I kind of saw like the whole Verso ending, and I'm just like, God fucking damn. I'm like, okay. And then like now that he's nominated, I'm like, just give it to this guy. He deserves it. So yeah, Ben Starr for me.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, personally, I think it's going to be end up being a toss up between Ben Starr and Troy Baker. Just because Troy Baker has like the legacy of being one of the best voice actors, in video games. Now, cemented even more by the fact that he's literally done other people's voices, right? I will give Erika Ishii, though, the props that she deserves. She has sometimes, in my opinion, that Aquafina voice, that very nasally, like sometimes it's fine, sometimes you're like, oh, the voice, whatever. I'll give it to her. She actually put on a very good performance as oh my god, what's the character's name? Oh no, I just finished it and I don't remember. Oh no, hold on.
That's how good the game
Hold
was.
on, let me read the back of the thing. Atsu, there we go.
That's how good the game was. You forgot the name of the character.
Oh my god, because my mind is so focused on Metroid Dread right now and Prime 4 coming out in a few weeks that like everything else is just gone.
Whatever.
Game of the year is going to be Metroid Prime 4, but whatever. Yeah, no, Erika Ishii, I mean, I was blown away by the fact that she wasn't doing her voice. She saved her normal voice for playing the child version of Atsu. I was like, oh yeah, there's Erika Ishii's voice. There's the pseudo Aquafina voice, right? Yeah, no, I was impressed. Nowhere near as impressed as Troy Baker or Ben Starr, though. But yeah, I think it's just gonna be a coin flip between those two. It'll really just depend on if people were more touched by Verso's, range of emotions toward the end of the game versus Higgs slowly becoming unhinged for being dead. and being forgotten. And not one. It's fine. Both characters essentially, like Verso wants to die and like let his family heal, whereas Higgs like just didn't want to let go and wanted to stay connected to the world in some manner or form. It's like the polar opposite of characters. Damn. All right. Innovation in accessibility. This is one where I have zero idea. We might just go scroll past this unless you guys know anything about these. But we have Assassin's Creed Shadows, Atomfall, Doom Dark Ages, EA Sports FC 26, and South of Midnight. I got nothing.
Me neither.
I know that you can map the controls in FC 26 to be more like eFootball PES.
Cool. All right.
Okay, bye.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Games for Impact.
That's we did come out this year.
Right? Yeah. So Games for Impact. This is the one where it's like positive social impact, right? Where it's like about a message about, in our society. So we have Consume Me. Oh my God. James, how do you say that? Despelote?
Despelote.
Okay. Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, South of Midnight, and Wanderstop. The only game I know here is South of Midnight. Maybe. I don't know. I know nothing about these games. None of these were on my radar.
The only game I played here was Lost Records. And that was like, it's similar to like, I guess, Life is Strange. So
Okay.
it was like one of those kind of games. So it was okay. So
Oh, okay. I see. Oh, I think I remember the trailer for this.
Yeah, I've been wanting to check out that game, but I completely forgot about it at some point.
Which
one?
Bloom and Rage.
I vaguely remember seeing the trailer for this. Okay, cool. All right, well, I'm going to say South of Midnight because that's the only one I know.
Fair enough.
All right,
I'll say Lost Record because that's the one I played.
makes sense. Best ongoing game. So, Final Fantasy XIV, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, Marvel Rivals, and No Man's Sky. Final Fantasy XIV I haven't touched since we got out of lockdown, right? So
Wait, did Dawntrail come out this year?
it did. Fortnite I will never touch. Helldivers 2 I downloaded and never played. Marvel Rivals I downloaded, played a tutorial, and have not continued. And No Man's Sky I recently got back into, play a little bit off stream. I mean, all these games, the biggest success story is No Man's Sky, going from, failed promise to one of the craziest, sci-fi space simulators out there, with aspects of Minecraft involved in it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, from a game that was a shit show to what it is now, I would say No Man's Sky too.
Yeah, No Man's Sky, they really deserve this award. They just turn it around so hard.
Yeah.
Better success story than Cyberpunk.
Or Concord.
Yeah, I mean, Fortnite might win just because it's
Fortnite.
extremely popular.
Yeah.
I mean, Marvel Rivals too, like, I guess because it did, I mean, although it came out like 2024, like end of December, like...
Has it been out that long?
Yeah. It came out like December 2024, and
oh yeah,
I guess it's like the new Overwatch, right? Like, it kind of just replaced Overwatch for a lot of people, and then you get to play as characters that you kind of recognize from comics, movies, whatnot. So, like, and then they keep adding new superheroes to it, like to the rosters. So
yeah, but I feel like that's not. I mean, in terms of like what makes the game like stand over others, like a game like that, it's like I expect you to add more characters, right?
Yeah.
I think it's just maybe the care they put into each of the characters and their personalities, right? That keep people entertained with it. Because it's like
I mean, that's the only
arguably,
thing you can do for a game. Yeah.
yeah, like
That's
arguably,
the only thing you can do.
Overwatch 2 keeps adding new characters. Then they just like tease a new character, but no one gives a shit except for diehard Overwatch people.
Whereas like No Man's Sky, you actually have to add new content
Yeah.
for people to keep coming back to, right? So like that's where the difference comes. So that's why I would give it to No Man's Sky.
Yeah, you know what? I really want Marvel Rivals to win because Overwatch 2 needs the competition. Yeah, Marvel Rivals really revitalized, quote unquote, I guess, the hero shooter subgenre. I think people were just very complacent. By people I mean like developers were really complacent with Overwatch 2 when they really need that kick in the butt.
Yeah. I don't think Helldivers 2 is going to win because of the kind of like roller coaster effect that the fan base had with that game. Like they're pulling it together, but every other story I read about the game, it's like the game's bursting at the seams full of bugs, and then it's great, it's fine, jump back in. Oh my god, it's bursting at the seams with bugs. So, and then Final Fantasy 14 and Fortnite, they've been around a long time, but it's just more of the same. So No Man's Sky for me. Yeah. All right. Best community support. So this is talking about how they engage with the community and allowing community things such as mods and stuff like that. We have Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, and No Man's Sky. Arguably, I think Helldivers 2, because of how transparent they are with the community and how much interaction there is like that there for it. Final Fantasy 14 has, all the events and stuff that, happen in the real world that people attend, and Square loves to support because it means more people playing Final Fantasy 14. I think Baldur's Gate and No Man's Sky, it's just, developers sharing player experiences. I don't know what to think of this. What do you guys feel about which of these games has had the best community engagement or support?
I'm in between Helldivers and No Man's Sky, but I think I'm leaning more towards No Man's Sky because they are more positively received overall.
Yeah, I have no comment on this.
Okay. Kavi does not engage with any community ever.
Nope.
Nah, he's actually smart. He just plays the games and like pieces out.
You're right. Not a fan at all. Okay. Here we go. Best independent game. Now, this is controversial because arguably, if Clair Obscur, Hades 2, or Silksong doesn't win this, they can't win Game of the Year. Right? So if Ball Pit, Blueprints, or Absolem wins Best Indie Game, we kind of already know that Death Stranding 2 is going to win Game of the Year then. Right? So we've already talked about Clair Obscur, Hades, it's Hollow Knight. Kavi, you love Blueprints. That's the other game you said should have been Game of the Year. Have either of you played Absolem or Ball Pit?
No, I've been looking at Ball Pit, but next time it goes on sale, I'll play it.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like a question that has been popping in my mind lately is, what even is an indie game anymore? Right? Is it just a question of budget? Is it a question of? It should be a question of publisher or no publisher, but if a big studio just funds themselves, are they
I yeah,
making an indie game?
I think, yeah, but that is definitely still a very, it's like, is it team size? Is it budget? You know, are you using an avenue like Microsoft or EA to publish your game, right? I think as long as it's a company that is self-sustaining and self-publishing, then I think it counts as indie, no matter the size of the company. A Supergiant is pretty big now, right? Way bigger than they were when they did Transistor or Bastion, right? So I think it's fine as long as it's not being published by one of the bigger game companies, right? Yeah, I think this is
like it should be a budget.
Yeah, it could be a budget thing too. Like spend under a certain amount for the game.
Yeah, because like if you're like spending like at least like 100K or less, you're like an indie. But like when you start getting into the millions, then it's like A, double A, triple A.
Yeah, let me pull some numbers real quick while I go. Keep going, Kavi.
Yeah, because like I mean, because if it's like publisher space, like I mean, didn't Ubisoft make something like Child of Light, and then they also make something like Assassin's Creed, right? Like Child of Light, I would consider an indie game, where like something like Assassin's Creed, it's more like a AAA title, although they're both based by the same publisher. I mean, one's a franchise and one is an indie game. So, but like, if you're talking about like indie games being publisher based, then wouldn't Child of Light also be a AAA title then, because Ubisoft is a AAA company?
Yeah,
right.
I did
yeah,
just. Oh.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, technically you can count Child of Light as a AAA game, but they were made by a very small indie studio that got funding from Ubisoft as part of one of Ubisoft's programs.
Yeah. So I was seeing a thing where it's like an indie game, according to various sources, that needs to be under $1 million. Estimated budget for Clair Obscur though is between 15 to 25 million.
So is that at that point considered an independent indie game?
Right? Again, it's hard to say because it's self-published, right? So
yeah.
Anyways, as we discussed,
that's where the debate starts now, right? Like, is it an indie game? Is it a AAA title, AA title?
I think that's, we can let it slide for now.
Yeah. I guess if they make a sequel, then that will be considered AAA.
But then Hades 2, everything Supergiant makes is still indie, right? I think it's.
I guess it's because of the gross that it made, right? Like the amount that it sold. Like, did Hades sell like 1 million?
Oh, Hades has been. You have to remember, Hades was in early access, I think, since the start of last year as well.
All right. Okay.
And so it's been making tons of money, right? So I think for indies, as it's once they buy another studio and that studio makes a game under the main studio, that's when they're no longer indie. If that makes sense. Anyways.
Yeah, Expedition 33.
Yeah, Expedition 33, most likely. Again, if Expedition 33, if these 3 here do not win, then we know who Game of the Year is, right?
I want to give it to Blueprints, but yeah, Expedition 33.
Okay. Best debut indie game, again, Clair Obscur. If it doesn't win, right?
Give it to Dispatch.
Oh wow, look, Dispatch is in there.
I know.
It's squeaked
I'll give
in.
it to Dispatch.
Wow. And then they still don't put Dispatch. Well, you know what? I think it's because it's more of like a movie. You know, it's.
I mean, I don't think didn't this nominees also come out like after just episode 1 and 2? So like, it wasn't even the full release of the game, so they couldn't really like count it as a full game.
I mean, if they were nominating stuff before the rest of the game came out, then sure. But I mean, the last episode came out like last week, This nomination list dropped today for us. So, right?
I guess they were aware that Dispatch was in the works and it was debuting this year, so I guess that's why it's part of the debut indie games and not indie games.
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely going to be a snub a little bit for Dispatch, especially because more and more people are starting to play it and be like, holy shit, this game is awesome. But at the same time, I think because it is a Telltale style game, that it's viewed very differently than regular video games.
It's just scratching the itch that Telltale's left, so...
Yeah. So I think we're all in agreement here. Clear Obscure has to win this.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is just a category for Clear Obscure to win another award. Okay. Best mobile game. I don't know about y'all. I play the hell out of mobile games recently because time. I have checked out Destiny Rising, Persona 5, Phantom X, Uma Musume, Prairie Derby, and Wuthering Waves. I have not played Sonic Rumble. Of these 5 games, I can tell you the best one here, in terms of like the grand scheme of what you expect out of a video game, is Wuthering Waves. If we're talking mobile game though, and what you want from a quick little play session, Uma Musume, horse racing, gambling, addiction, that's the one.
I mean, to me, it's all gacha games, so yeah, can't say much about mobile games. I don't really play. That one mobile game I play is not even on this list, so I can't say much about it. So no comment for me.
I still play Fire Emblem Heroes. Haven't played much more since, and just a little. I'm just gonna go a little off topic now. Don't jump back up on Fire Emblem Heroes, because see, this is the game, right?
Yeah.
That's the new Byleth that released, and this is what his weapon does.
What the hell?
The whole screen is filled with text.
Jesus.
Jeez.
Yeah, don't play this game if you haven't in the past couple of years.
I mean, for me, I was waiting to play the global version of Uma Musume since like 2023 when it launched in Japan. I think it was 2023 it launched in Japan. Like me and Rocky were talking about it the whole time, and just like, this is horse girls, y'all. Racing, gambling, that's all there is to life. But recently, I've been playing another mobile game, which has its quirks. It's not super polished yet, but it's called Chaos Zero Nightmare. I want to shout that one out because it blends, gacha anime nonsense with eldritch horror enemies, as well as the Darkest Dungeon sanity system. So it's super unique in the gacha game, mobile game space, just for that.
What's it called?
Chaos Zero Nightmare.
Downloading it right now.
All right.
Oh, I've seen the trailer. Okay, yeah, I remember now.
Again, full-on anime gacha nonsense. All the characters are, husbando and waifu to the max. But the world design is like very well done. It's intriguing, right? The story is essentially like they're on a space station where like this is the remaining people of Earth, and they're like teleporting down to Earth, which is just consumed by some giant eldritch nonsense, and trying to recover like people and stuff like that way. Crazy. Not on this list. My vote for who's going to win is going to be Wuthering Waves, just because it's the better Genshin Impact right now. There we go.
You know what? From a very superficial sort of a judgment from me. Wuthering Waves could win, yes, but I find that it blends in so much with the other top gadgets like Genshin
Yes.
that like you can pretty much like take characters from one game and mix it with Genshin, right, with
Yeah.
the other game, and most people will not tell them apart. For that
And also
one
play
reason,
Honkai.
I think Uma Musume might win over Wuthering.
Yeah, I think
I don't know.
Uma Musume's launch this year did, like, side games went from like, oh, we're going to maybe discontinue Uma Musume in like a year or two, blah 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 blah. Here's the global version, whatever. They're now like, oh, forget that. Uma Musume is going to continue on for as many years as we can support it because the global launch was just that successful. So yeah, they could win purely from that standpoint. I think one game, I mean, my super guilty pleasure is Zenless Zone Zero, because it's, you know, a character action game as a mobile game essentially. I'm shocked that that's not on this list, but at the same time, it's not a beginner friendly game at this point. Like, you need to actually know character action games and like timing of, you know, swapping out characters and doing parries and stuff like that. I don't know. It's I'm shocked that it's on this list, but maybe it's on, you know, number 6 and we don't see number 6. Anyways, moving on. Best VR and AR game. None of us play VR, so we have no idea. We have Alien Rogue Incursion, Arcane Age, Ghost Town, Marvel's Deadpool, and Midnight Walk. Midnight Walk, I know, is a non-VR game as well. I think that's going to win because that game's super intriguing. I haven't played it yet. I still want to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll
No
just
comment.
slide past this one. Best action game. Okay. This is
hard.
The categories that we actually care about are now beginning, outside of Game of the Year and all that nonsense and music. So, Battlefield 6, Doom Dark Ages, Hades 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, and Shinobi Art of Vengeance. I'll tell you what, it's not Ninja Gaiden 4. That game is a solid 7 out of 10. I think Platinum is losing its way. Hideki Kamiya going back to Capcom is really showing that the era of Platinum games is kind of over. Ninja Gaiden 4 felt so much like it was trying to be the old Ninja Gaiden games without knowing why Ninja Gaiden 1 and Ninja Gaiden 2 were so revered in the character action space. Doom Dark Ages I haven't played yet. I might not ever get a chance to, but Doom in, you know, medieval era seems fun, seems cool. Shinobi I played a little bit of. I mean to play it on stream eventually. But the fact that, you know, 2D side-scrolling ninja action game, the fact that that's on here is crazy to me. I think Hades 2 is going to end up winning, though, because it's a full-on Game of the Year contender and people love isometric action games. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, Doom I played. That was, I mean, it's one of the only few shooters that I actually enjoy playing is the Doom series. So yeah, I'm happy to see that on the list. But yeah, I mean, if Hades 2 plays exactly like Hades, then my vote goes to Hades, just because I enjoyed playing Hades, the first one. So like, it would go to Hades too. But yeah, it's a toss up between Doom the Dark Ages and Hades 2 for me.
James?
Yeah, I agree with Kavi. I think Hades 2 will win. Yeah, I would say it. I don't know how other people feel about this, but out of these two games, I prefer to play Hades 2, because it's easy to put down, right? You can just do one run. It could be 5-10 minutes, put it down, go to work, come back, play another run, right? For something a little more narrative driven, right? Action/narrative driven, it's a little harder to do that, right? It might break your immersion, it might distract you from the narrative a little bit, right? And just because of that, I think Hades 2 will win. It's a little bit more action-packed, kind of, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Surprised 2 games didn't make this list. Night Rain and Monster Hunter Wilds.
I mean, we might see them when we get to like the RPG area, but yeah, those two. I think those 2 games are like a fine line, right? Let's see. So we'll say Hades 2 wins this. Let's see what we get next. Best action adventure game. Hey, look at that! Indiana Jones showed up. I think Death Stranding's going to win for this category, because if you're talking about the adventure part of it, the walking simulator aspect of Death Stranding 2 is some of the most relaxing, fun package delivery you can get. As much as I did enjoy my time with Indiana Jones, I feel like the fact that it was first person hurt the game more than anything else and subtracted away from my immersion. And it goes to Viote and Silksong. It's like, we've seen this, right? I mean, you can say the same about Death Stranding 2, but I feel like Death Stranding 2 evolved more. And Split Fiction, I mean, Split Fiction did very well, right? It got high praise. I haven't played it yet. Maybe it's the better adventure portion of action adventure. But my money's on Death Stranding, yeah.
Just the fact that for like Split Fiction, the fact that you can, you're like pretty much going into like different worlds in the same game, like playing different, like you said, like different genres of games in one single game. Like that's pretty interesting. And yeah, like I mean, yeah, Silksong and Ghost of Yote, it's like Tsushima and just a regular Hollow Knight, but upscaled to like a grander scale. So yeah, I would say Death Stranding 2.
Well, I'm gonna agree with Alex. I think Death Stranding will win for best action adventure. Just on the fact that it's a much more polished, quote unquote, sort of experience.
All right, we're in agreement. Best RPG. Damn, they did not give 2 craps about Night Rain. Avowed, Clair Obscur, Kingdom Come, Outer Worlds 2, which I'm shocked did not get a Game of the Year mention, and Monster Hunter Wilds. Now, I don't think it's going to be Wilds because after that first couple of weeks, it really fell off until the Final Fantasy event happened like a month ago.
Yeah.
Where it started kind of course correcting and fixing stuff.
I mean, the PC players hate Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yeah. And Avowed, I heard, is basically just a watered down version of an Elder Scrolls game. Even though it was supposed to be like better. I heard it's actually more watered down. Clair Obscur is going to win because, again, it's your Game of the Year contender. You're going to win your category, right? Unless there's some argument that Outer Worlds 2's zaniness and, the Fallout Vegas of it all is more engaging than Clair Obscur. But then it's like, why is Outer Worlds then not a Game of the Year contender? So I think we know who's winning here. Okay.
Yeah.
Best fighting game. My Arena. Have I played any of these games this year? Not yet. Literally only played Street Fighter 6 for my fighting games this year, and a little bit of Tekken 8. I'm shocked Street Fighter 6 is not considered ongoing game worthy, but it has its own issues, whatever. Of this stuff here, I think Fatal Fury is probably going to win, because 2XKO is barely a game right now. I mean, Capcom Fighting Collection 2 could win as well. It has a lot of good games in it. Mortal Kombat Legacy. It's more like you have like SNK versus Capcom. You have, the MVC 2 and stuff like that on it, right? Mortal Kombat Collection, it's just on here because it released like a month ago. Apparently, it's not that great. Virtua Fighter 5 Revo is just another remake of Virtua Fighter 5 to get everyone prepared for when Virtua Fighter 6 comes out next year. That's why I think Fatal Fury is going to win Fighting Game of the Year. That's it.
Agreed.
We'll move on. Chun-Li's slides have been the biggest they've ever been in this game. Therefore, that is why it's going to be that way. They even made a post about why they are like bigger than the screen, and because they were like, she kicks a lot, therefore she should have bigger thighs than any other version of her ever that Capcom has made. So SNK just went nuts. Fatal Fury, best family game: Donkey Kong Bonanza, Lego Party, Lego Voyagers, Mario Kart World, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, and Split Fiction. James, why don't you start?
Oh boy. Split Fiction. It has my vote by far.
Agreed.
Yeah, it is an overall, I shouldn't say better game in general, just a more well-rounded experience.
Mhm.
Right? It could be a party game because there are these bubbles, right, in Split Fiction, where you have these different genre of games, right? So you can go into the level selector and just play those little bubble games, right? Those little you can play pretty much Tony Hawk Pro Skater in that game, right, with someone. So yeah, they do have a little quote unquote party game aspect. They're also narrative driven. They have a cohesive story throughout. It's also a pretty good story, by the way. And out of all these games, it just seems like a more well-rounded experience, in my opinion.
Okay, Kavi?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like minus like Donkey Kong and like Split Fiction, I feel like all the other games are just party games where you just pick it up like at a party, just play it with a group of people, and then you can put it down. Like Split Fiction, like James said, is like a narrative-driven game where you have like your two characters working together to like solve puzzles and whatnot. And then I haven't played Donkey Kong, so I can't say much about that. But from what I heard, it's like Donkey Kong mixed with like Super Mario Odyssey, so there's that aspect of it. But yeah, I would give it to like Split Fiction, just for the fact that it's narrative driven, but like also like it doesn't require two people to play, but it's fun with two people like solving puzzles together. So I would give it to Split Fiction.
Yeah, I don't know why Donkey Kong's on this list other than it's a Nintendo game and they arbitrarily just threw it on here, because the two-player portion of it is literally like Mario Galaxy, where one person's literally doing nothing and the other person's actually playing the game. Mario Kart World and Sonic Racing, I think this is the best time that Kart Racers has had in terms of like you actually have a different choice besides Mario Kart, because the demo that I played of Sonic Racing this year was fantastic. Will I pick it up eventually? Yeah, when I have money and it's on discount. But it's far superior to Mario Kart World which is a sham of a Mario Kart game, in my opinion. It's funny, Lego Party, Lego Voyagers, haven't played. Probably should play them for the fact that, a company we work for. But
It's not just sponsor.
no, not at all. Not at all. No, bleep it out. I've heard Lego Party, was way better than Mario Party in terms of like just the actual games, right? It felt more like an old Mario Party than Mario Party did. And Lego Voyagers, even though it was like a very short 2-player co-op game, it seemed to be more akin to like the Two Brothers game that came out years ago. That's one I want to check out, just again when it's a bit cheaper. Yeah, I think it's probably going to be in Split Fiction, right? Yeah. All right, moving on. Best sim/strategy game. I mean, arguably one of the greatest strategy games of all time is on here, so I don't know how anybody's going to try to beat this. But we have The Alters, Jurassic World Evolution 3, Sid Meier's Civilization 7, Tempest Rising, 2 Point Museum, and then Final Fantasy Goddamn Tactics, The Ivalice Chronicles. I mean, it's going to be Final Fantasy.
Yeah, but I'm just so confused. Like, how can you compare Final Fantasy Tactics with something like Civilization, right? That they're not quite the same.
I think there's not enough of these games. Or actually, no. Okay, I'd say for sim style games, there's enough. Hold on. There's enough of both of these games released each year. But I think that because a lot of them are in that lower echelon of indie games, that they just don't get enough like people looking into them. But I mean, I can see where they kind of have the same idea, where the whole idea is you are doing management of multiple things. To an extent, you either have a turn system like in Civilization and Final Fantasy, or you are real time like 2 Point Museum and Jurassic World. But no matter what, you're just managing either a large amount of characters or a large amount of just resources, right? I think that's kind of what they're going for. But I mean, the only game here that has the actual story, to my knowledge, is Final Fantasy. And it's one of the better Final Fantasy stories. It wins.
Yeah, I guess. But I just gotta say, 2 Point Museum is actually really, really good. If any of you are into resource management games, 2 Point Museum, very worth it.
I mean, I'll think about it. I have been looking at, there's one game coming out. It's essentially, I forget what it's called. I think it's, oh no, what is it called? Oh no. Steam, help me. Go to my wish list. Drown Light. So there's a game called Drown Light, which is essentially Frostpunk, but you're a lighthouse in the middle of the ocean, and you have to build up the city around the lighthouse. So I'm into that because it has the chance for them to do something really cool with that, which is, lighthouses, eldritch horror, right? With city survival, resource management stuff. We'll see. Anyways, Final Fantasy Tactics probably going to win. Best sports/racing game. It should be Sonic Racing. Just let the man win something. He's been running for days.
Now he's racing on a car.
Right. I
got tired of running.
I mean, if Mario Kart World wins, then without a doubt, Nintendo's money bags were involved here. I don't know about F1. I don't know about EA Sports FC. Don't even know what rematch is. Sonic.
You know what? You
Sports game.
raised a good point, Alex, with that half joke, half comment about Nintendo's money bags. Does the Game Awards ever explain why the games win each category?
Not always.
Besides, oh hey, these people voted for this.
Well, it's
Sure, but why?
They'll do that little like explanation, like when the presenter says like, oh, so for voice actors, we're looking for like the best performance, the ones that really drive home the emotion and capture the character, blah blah blah. Winner is whatever. So for racing games, I mean, you have to remember this is one of those categories that's going to be on the screen for like 30 seconds and then it's gone. Right?
Yeah, it's not one that Jeff Keighley says.
It's the one that what's her name? The girl who jumped over from IGN to them. But yeah, she's going to present this. She's going to say, and the category for best sports racing game, and here's our nominees, and the winner is whatever the teleprompter says, right? Like that, we already know.
Sydney Goodman,
yeah, there we go. All right, best multiplayer.
So Nintendo's money bags might be involved.
Right, they might be involved, but I think Sonic should win for this. Best multiplayer, there we go.
Wow, a multiplayer game.
However, Arc Raiders came out of nowhere and just like slapped everybody, right? Like people won't shut up about this game. One of the most influential streamers out there on Twitch, Carnage, like heralds this game. So I think Arc Raiders is going to win purely on that alone. Night Rain is cool in concept. I do think it started with too little content though in the game.
Yep. I mean, more is coming out next month.
Yeah, like the DLC coming out in like 2 weeks, fantastic, right? Give me more of that. But there should have been more already.
Yeah. It's been out for what? Like almost 7 months?
Yeah.
6 months?
Battlefield 6, I heard the multiplayer is good. Peak, I mean, it's a mountain climbing co-op game. That's funny. Sure. Split Fiction.
After Expedition 3, I don't want to climb anything. I think. Oh, you know what?
Oh, what?
Yeah. As much as I love Expedition 33, right? I freaking hated the platforming. It just reminded me like how so many games shoehorn like a little bit of
a mechanic
of something, like a different mechanic, like a different area of whatever.
Yep.
Right.
Forced gameplay.
Quote unquote make it. Yeah. Exactly. Right. Yeah. But it just ends up so janky.
That's the exact same feeling I had with Ninja Gaiden 4, where in the previous games it's like, oh cool, I'm doing the wall run, sick, I'm doing the wall run. But in Ninja Gaiden 4 it was like, did I really need to run on this wall here? And the most forced part was they had like this section where you had to like do like rail grinding like Tony Hawk, and then like kind of like wingsuit gliding as well, just to transition to different parts of the stage. Super forced, super unnecessary. Yeah, but I think it's going to be a toss up here for best multiplayer: Arc Raiders or Split Fiction. My guess is going to go to Arc Raiders just because it's the flavor of the month.
Yeah. I agree.
Okay. Most anticipated game. Now this one, there's a million things that can be your most anticipated game. The fact that Phantom Blade Zero is not even on here is crazy, because Phantom Blade Zero could come out of nowhere next year and just knock a lot of these games out of the park. And I'm gonna say what everyone's going to pick already. This game right here, Grand Theft Auto 6.
You don't say.
As somebody who this year actually played through and completed GTA 5 off stream, Maddie made me do it. I can see the appeal, even though the controls are shit. So will I dabble in GTA 6? Maybe a little bit. I mean, there is this right here, which is calling
And
to
the one
me.
above it.
Resident Evil Requiem is great and all, but Witcher 4.
Yeah.
And even then, 007, a Hitman 007 game, like, come on, right? Like, these are all fantastic things.
Wolverine.
And yeah, Wolverine. Okay, here's the thing with Wolverine. I love Wolverine. Wolverine is like my favorite Marvel character. My problem with this game, though, is that Spider-Man 2 was, you know, an 8 out of 10, barely, for me. I'm not sold on Insomniac doing another Marvel game yet. Because I remember one of the first comments I saw on that gameplay trailer that we saw was that the sequence where Wolverine's like kind of like fighting in the alley and then he switches to the other guy and like does a little combo or whatever. Someone was like, how much do you want bet that combo is square, 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 triangle?
Yep.
Right? Like, if you're going to give me Wolverine as like, you know, a Devil May Cry level like action game, sure. But I don't have super high hopes. I know it's going to be good. I just don't think it's going to be, you know, super mind-blowing.
The thing about your point with simple combos is that sometimes you just gotta appeal to the lowest common denominator.
Yes,
right.
You're right. And Wolverine is a very simple man. And I do expect this combo to be square, 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 triangle. But the problem is that how many times can you do that in a 20 to 40 hour open world game?
And there's no web slinging.
Right? Yeah, you don't have the traversal that Spider-Man had to kind of
enough.
set up, right? So that's why I'm a little concerned for it. But I mean, personally for me, out of these 5, like Witcher 4, followed by 007, then Resident Evil, and then kind of whatever Wolverine or Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, I think for me it's Witcher 4. And because I'm on a Resident Evil high right now, coming off of Resident Evil 3, I'll be Resident Evil Requiem. That's like the next anticipated. Followed by probably Wolverine and then 007, then Grand Theft Auto. Like, mind you, I still haven't played a Grand Theft Auto game, so like I still don't understand the appeal of these games, minus the fact that you just drive around and you're just able to just do whatever the fuck you want. It's just a simulator game. That's what I look at it as, like a sandbox simulator.
That pretty much is the appeal for most people. I mean, the storytelling of GTA 5 was very good. I definitely understood like the resonance between the 3 main characters. Who knows, right? Like, this obviously between us 3, GTA 6 is not a game either of us would rush to go play. But there's no doubt that like this is the game that every other game company shifts away from, right? You know, the whole meme of like, oh, I got pushed back to 2026. Everyone immediately is like, oh my god, okay, we have time to breathe. They announced their date in May. Everyone's now scrambling to move away from May. They pushed back to November. Everyone in November is now screaming and crying, right? The meme of like that, there's one guy who's like, me and my wife were planning on having our first child around the launch of GTA, so I had a reason to stay home. Like, and now it's all screwed up because it's coming out in November, right? Like, that meme exists because of how much influence it has. It's probably one of the most anticipated. Yeah. Okay. The last content, I always say content creator, the last stuff is just the people stuff, which I don't think anybody actually cares about. Content creator of the year, I could care less who wins. It's not me. Best esports game of the year, probably going to be League of Legends. Let's be real. Best
Yeah.
esports athlete. I'm shocked. There's a fighting game player in here, Mena RD. Cool, I'll vote for him. But otherwise, don't care. Best esports team. Sure, don't care. And then player's voice. We don't know what's going on with that yet. But that is our lineup for the Game Awards.
Looks like a sweep for Claire Obscure.
Yeah, like Claire
That's
Obscure
the
is going to get a
most
lot
nominees.
for sure, but it might be like, oh, what was that? What was the game? What was the year?
Was it Hellblade?
No, not Hellblade. Hold on, I did pull up this thing for the games of the years and the nominees. Oh, which year was it? Was it 2023?
I mean, it was like
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate sweeped.
Baldur's Gate sweeped. There was one year where I think it was 2022 where like God of War was winning everything and then Elden Ring just kind of took it. I don't quite remember.
Yeah. I think it won like voice actor, everything, and then Elden Ring won the game.
Yeah.
of the year.
I mean, looking back at like the Game of the Year stuff, right? It's kind of crazy how looking back on this, like how wild Dragon Age Inquisition winning the first Game Awards over Bayonetta 2 to me is crazy. Right? But
Oh, Hearthstone was nominated. for
Hearthstone
Game of
was
the Year?
nominated, right? Like that's so crazy.
That's crazy.
We will never get another 2015. 2015 is
Oh, that's a
in
solid
time
choice.
shell, right?
That's a solid choice of the
Hey,
games.
Witcher 4. Who knows?
Yeah, but are we going to
They
get...
might
Wait, here's the thing. If Witcher 4 comes out, like say that's 2027, and somehow Bloodborne 2 comes out that year,
Oh my god.
Fizzant comes out that year, a new Mario Maker 3 and Fallout 5, whatever, come out in 2027, 2028, whenever Witcher 4 comes out, that would be the only time you have this sort of similar lineup happen, where each of these games in their own right was Game of the Year. It just so happened that Witcher 3 was perfect. Right? 2016. I mean, right? Like
That was the
overall-
year.
Ron, the game of Uncharted. Everything. I mean, wow.
right? Like
Wow.
nowhere near as strong as the previous year, but each of these games did push something a little bit, right? Like Overwatch gave us our hero shooter subgenre. Doom reinvented first-person shooter single-player games. Inside was, the nonsensical, like, if people don't remember, this weird little game, right? Proved indie games could stand up with the big boys. Titanfall 2 had a
better than Titanfall 1.
super great single-player game tied with, a great multiplayer. Unfortunately, no one gave two shits about outside of critics. And then Uncharted 4 capped off, one of the better single player series. Then we had the great downfall of games this year. Like, I will stand by Horizon Zero Dawn being better than Breath of the Wild. I'm sorry. It's Breath of the Wild. Oh my god. That's a rant I don't want to get into. What was that, James?
I think you meant Persona 5.
I agree.
Let's see. Okay,
I agree.
if Persona 5 won that year, no problem. My problem is the fact that this game is better than Breath of the Wild. But whatever. Year after that,
Money bag.
the world healed a little bit. God of War came back big.
Yep.
Showed that the Resident Evil 4 formula works with everything, apparently, of just over-the-shoulder third-person combat with strong narrative. Yep. There we go. 2019, we had Sekiro, Control, Death Stranding 1, Resident Evil 2, Smash Bros. Ultimate, and Outer Worlds 1. Which, again, this leads me to believe, why did Outer Worlds 2 not get nominated this year? When 2 is literally everything that 1 had, but better.
Better games came out.
I guess. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, Sekiro deserved its win. I think Control easily could have also won. Same thing with Resident Evil 2. 2020, When the World Fell Apart. Last of Us 2, I don't think was Game of the Year. For me personally, it was definitely Final Fantasy VII Remake. Hades also could have won for sure. And Ghost of Tsushima is the better version of the open world, wander around, smack things, do a story that, you know, Assassin's Creed, Breath of the Wild, all that stuff does. Ghost of Tsushima is the culmination of all those games, of the open world, you know, whatever those type of games are, you want to call them.
Yeah, I don't know, but I could not get into FF7 Remake's combat system.
I mean, and that's why Rebirth is, even though you might say this, the more linear story of Remake makes it more playable in Rebirth, the fix to the combat system in Rebirth makes it 100% better by a long shot. Anyways, 2021, I mean, It Takes Two, I don't think was Game of the Year. I think that was just everyone riding the high of, what was his name? This guy right here, Joseph Fares. Everyone was just, you know, on his stuff. It should have been Resident Evil Village or Metroid Dread. To me personally.
I don't know. I guess it's because It Takes Two was such a refreshing breath of air, right? It was so different
Sure.
than
Sure, but you also had, right, Deathloop, which again proved that single player shooters with story and the concept of having to, like, the whole loop and runs idea that Hades started the previous year, they proved you could do with a first person shooter. Metroid Dread basically revived Metroid as a franchise. Psychonauts 2, never played. I never understood the hype. Sure. Ratchet and Clank proved the power of the PS5 and the fact that, you know, you could easily meld into other worlds, other areas super quickly, you know, without much loading. And Resident Evil Village was like, here's Resident Evil 7 combined with our old Resident Evil, you know, actual action game stuff. I don't know, I feel like any of these could have taken it over It Takes Two, especially after the fact that I played It Takes Two and I was like, the control sucked.
Game of the Year.
2022, that, okay, 2022 almost as strong as 2015. Right?
2017.
No, 2015. 2015 is Witcher, Bloodborne, Fallout.
Oh, all right, okay.
Right. 2022, Elden Ring, Plague Tale Requiem, sure. God of War Ragnarok, and Xenoblade 3, at least, are all, in their own way, the games of the year. Horizon, Stray, and Plague Tale are kind of just like there, I think. But I mean, it was very heavily like God of War's year, and then just Elden Ring took it.
Miyazaki needed a win.
Yep. And then 2023. I mean, actually, you could say 2023 was also, a strong year, right? Like, Baldur's Gate surprised everybody by being phenomenal. Alan Wake 2 surprised everybody by being phenomenal. Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4 proved that Resident Evil 4 is still one of the greatest games of all time. Mario Bros. Wonder, sure. And that last game, who cares?
Oh, Alex, I'm wondering if you are a little biased against Nintendo.
It's not that I'm biased against them, it's that, like, do better.
They have the money.
Right? Anyways, 2024, so just last year, Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree, again, still kind of
DLC.
crazy that DLC was counted. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor, ReFantazio. I never finished Metaphor.
Haven't touched it.
I think my copy is still shrink wrapped.
Damn.
Oh, yeah.
Damn. Yeah, like, Astrobot definitely deserved the win. That was like a genuinely fun experience. Again, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, anything Final Fantasy VII of this whole remake, rebirth trilogy, I will always think will be the top tier nonsense. Clearly, because of all the Final Fantasy stuff I have going on back here. But yeah, Astrobot just kind of came out of nowhere and like really surprised me with how just like clean the gameplay was. Each level was varied in the way you execute the platforming and the few puzzles that were in it. The soundtrack was just great remixes of all the themes of each of the Sony games, right? Just a super solid package.
Black Myth Wukong was a nice surprise too.
Yeah, Wukong was a nice surprise, and it proved that I think that this was the year that proved that some Chinese studios are starting to really up their game, which is good because we need competition outside of Japan and Korea to an extent for game development in Asia. It just sucks that a lot of Chinese games are also really stifled by their government, but that's a whole nother topic. Yeah, and then this year, who knows? Damn. Anyways, let's make a quick bingo card. We got a little bit of time left, so I'm just going to swap to our other screen here. Where is it? Boop, 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 boop. There we go. Okay. So we have to decide the card of what will happen at the Game Awards this year. Our free space is going to be Kojima, right?
Doesn't he still have that game with was it Jordan Peele?
Yeah, OD.
Yeah.
No, but I just think Kojima being there in general is a free space. Right? Actually, here, let me do this.
Kojima?
Yeah.
Whoa, how do you get a picture of me?
Whoa. Okay. So, Kojima showing up in incapacity. Their main thing right there. What crazy nonsense or actual thing you guys think is going to happen?
I feel like we'll get a gameplay trailer or some sort of trailer for his game, like as a
Or OD?
VGA.
Like a more than what we got during whatever
Happened
a few
last
months
year,
ago?
yeah. Like we'll probably have like, this is what the game's gonna be like, or here's the gameplay trailer.
Okay. So
Like no release date or anything, just something with OD.
let's put that in this corner up here. Okay.
Someone was invited, but they couldn't show up.
Someone was invited but they couldn't show up. Oh my god. So a no show. Okay. There we go. There's so a no-show. All right. You know, that's gonna be Charlie Cox. There you go.
I was nominated? Wait, what?
What?
Gustav, what?
What?
Who's that?
Jim's gonna turn you down just a little bit because you're now mic in your face. It's okay. It's okay. You can keep doing it. Let's see. I'm going to say that we get a trailer for the next part, Final Fantasy 7.
And what the question is, what is going to be the subtitle? Because we got Rebirth, we got Remake. What's the next re going to be?
So we know it's
Reincarnation.
Reincarnation, maybe. Doesn't roll quite off the tongue. A lot of people initially thought a lot of people thought it was going to be Reunion initially because the whole
So
one of
Crisis Core
the
was.
whole but Crisis Core used it, right? And one of the whole main themes of FF7's story is reunion. So but a lot of people think will also be potentially could be return, right?
Reunited?
Reunite, another good one.
Revengeance.
Revengeance. So I have to play that on stream someday.
It's just vengeance.
But what was it? Rewind. So people thought as well. So we'll see. Let's see. What else do we got?
We got a celebrity coming to some sort of actor or actress coming to be like, I'm starring in this game.
A random celebrity. Okay.
Like we got,
Oh yeah, we had Al Pacino one year or something like that, right?
yeah. And we got like Vin Diesel for Fast game.
Oh my god, I
Oh, God,
forgot
what?
that was even a thing, and the dumpster fire that was.
Yep.
That's yikes! I completely forgot about that. Okay, random celebrity. What else?
God of War 5.
All right. You're swinging big. Return of the Man.
It's game of the it's VGA. It has to happen at some point.
Okay.
We need a Kratos game.
I think it's more likely that it's an Atreus game.
Nah, it's gonna be
No, yeah.
no, it'll be a both.
I don't think it's gonna be Atreus. I think that the whole Atreus thing is done. I really do think that they've been hinting at it so much that it has to be Kratos in Egypt with what's her name, Freya.
Yeah, true.
Like it has to be that. Like the way, like come on.
Fighting Ra.
And that way you still have your whole like you have your archer sidekick, but it's Freya instead. And they could even make like.
I really like how.
Sure, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. Oh, fine. Okay. Age before beauty.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I really like how they ended Kratos' story, though. Like, if they don't ever make another God of War, I'll be happy.
Yeah, like no, yeah, the way they kind of again, I will always say that over the course of 2 decades, Kratos has had one of the best character arcs in all media. Right, going from literally the God of War to a God of Hope, crazy. I was in tears at the end of Ragnarok because of that.
Okay, so maybe not God of War 5, or maybe the trailer to the God of War live action series on Amazon.
Okay, we'll still put Kratos' face there.
Yeah.
God of War something.
Because I know they're working on.
I got one.
Last year we got Valhalla.
I got one for us. Doritos.
What?
because Jeff Keighley loves his Doritos.
How about crazy French man gets invited on stage?
Ah, yes. Ah, yes. Okay, there's a good picture of him. All right. Actually, no, anyone's a little bit more square. There we go. There we go. Right there. This line right here is gonna be crazy. Doritos, French man, someone doesn't show up. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Okay, I think I got one as well. Phantom Blade Zero actually gained a proper release date.
Yeah.
Like, this is a game that's been pretty hyped up. Put this one down here. What else? What other things can we think of? Gameplay trailers, adaptation trailers, random shenanigans.
Is it a cop out if I say nothing about GTA 6 will be said or mentioned?
No, I think that is definitely.
So no GTA 6 or GTA 6?
No GTA 6.
Like, no mention of GTA 6. Why was that so small? There we go. No mention. Okay. Witcher 4. Why not?
A release date. That'd be crazy.
Let's see. Let's put that in the same line as Doritos. That makes sense. That's a pipe dream.
Wait, how long has the PS5 Pro been out for?
A couple years now, right? Like 2 years at least? 2-3 years?
I think 2 years.
I got one for you guys. Hold on. Flute guy. That's almost a freebie, but him pulling out some other crazy instrument, a newer crazy instrument, and going nuts, I think that's a possibility. Okay, let me specifically be like.
They're for sure gonna have an orchestra, right? They're gonna have an orchestra
every year
just
to do
for
that.
Player Obscure.
Well, no, it's not just. I mean, they might do one song from it, but they always have that medley of all the Game of the Year songs.
Oh, that's for Game of the Year, right? Okay.
Okay.
How about someone cries on stage or tears up on stage?
That's not a freebie. Look, Ben Starr's gonna cry when he wins Best Performer.
You got. There we go. Ben Starr gained his just desserts / crying on stage. Okay.
Another giveaway.
Oh yeah, it's right.
Some sort of giveaway.
The shitty giveaway that like doesn't really work.
Some sort of giveaway that they always do.
Okay. Random giveaway. All right. Ooh. Here's a topic that we'll have for another day because we won't have enough time tonight. But do we expect a trailer or something about the Steam Machine?
Oh yeah, maybe.
Ooh.
Right?
Or probably even get a release date, because I think Valve is already like.
There's a few out in the wild already.
Yeah. some sort of Nintendo first party. I mean, like the Zelda
Mario Galaxy movie update, new trailer, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe the Zelda trailer. That is a good chance. Okay, where do we put this? Which
under no show.
Under no show? Okay. Damn.
With the pipe dreams.
All right, Zelda trailer. Okay. What else? What else?
A charity gets mentioned.
A charity gets mentioned. Damn. Oh, okay. There's a decent stock image for charity. We'll put charity right in between Kojima and no GTA 6. Okay. What are some?
Maybe a new game gets a live action or a movie adaptation that gets announced.
But what? We need to start being more specific. We got a lot of like maybe things.
I mean, do they already have a Ghost of Tsushima one in the works?
They sort of do, but I think that might also be on hold right now. Because it was supposed to star all the actual people from Ghost of Tsushima, and then they just never went forward with it, it seems like, or it stalled up for some reason.
How about instead of a random celebrity, we have a Hollywood star presents a game or trailer?
Okay.
Keanu Reeves.
Oh boy.
Either Keanu Reeves or Idris Elba.
Probably neither.
Henry Cavill
presents the new Witcher game.
Actually,
no Warhammer.
Yeah, that Warhammer. Like I could potentially see Henry Cavill doing a Warhammer thing.
He comes all suited up too.
We'll put that right there. I don't know. The game. It's weird because a lot more people now know of Warhammer because Space Marine 2 did super well.
Isn't Bolt Gun 2 in the works or something?
Yes, Bolt Gun 2 is also in the works as well, but that didn't move the needle anywhere near as much, right? I would be shocked and definitely surprised if Henry Cavill with his Warhammer thing happened at the Game Awards instead of somewhere else, but we'll see. Okay, we got 6 spots left. Let's see, what's something, has to be something that we know, like Nintendo is not going to announce anything big really because they want to save it all for their directs. It has to be something else. Oh, I got another one that I think would be insane. Even though Sucker Punch just finished doing Ghost of Yote, they have laid out the seeds for the return of one of my favorite PS2 characters, Sly Cooper. Either a collection of, an HD version of the older games, or a new one being announced. I think there's a decent chance. Be the whole Jeff Keighley being like, oh, and here's a franchise we haven't seen in over a decade. Coming back to here's the first whatever, Sly Cooper.
Maybe a world premiere trailer for a new Naughty Dog game.
Oh yeah, there's what's that shit called that Neil Druckmann's working on right now? Isn't it like Hyper something or whatever? What was this shit called? What is this shit called? Intergalactic. Maybe we get an update on Intergalactic. I could kind of see that. We'll put that over here. Okay.
Elder Scrolls trailer?
Oh my god.
Okay.
Elder Scrolls has been mute about Elder Scrolls Skyrim, 6 for a while now.
They're mute because there's nothing happening to it. But all right. Elder Scrolls 6.
Point.
Ooh, I know. There's going to be a super cringy moment involving either a special guest or just something with like a streamer or, you know, a online influencer just being super cringy because they don't actually belong at this event.
Oh man.
Okay, 2 more spots.
Yeah. Don't other VGAs have like a game just be released that day?
Oh yeah,
Maybe,
it's
like, you can play
the
it
shadow
right now.
drop stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the shadow drop of random indie game.
Yep. Oh, hey, someone actually made a graphic. There we go. Shadow drop of a random game. Jeff Keighley Bay, and you can play it right now.
Right now.
All right,
Just
last
go on
spot.
Steam and download.
Yeah, last spot.
Oh, I know.
What?
Xbox exclusive.
Xbox exclusive? Really? Okay. I think there's going to be no more Xbox exclusives. I think this is the year.
Console War's done, man.
Oh, console war is still going because Nintendo and PlayStation, but I don't think Xbox will have an exclusive.
If anything, it'll be a PC exclusive.
Yeah. But I don't see them being like, oh, here's a Xbox exclusive world premiere, whatever. I don't see that this year. I need something better, James.
Okay, fine.
Something either so crazy it could happen, or something.
Shot in the dark, but the Critical Role video game gets announced.
Dispatch?
No, like their actual campaign 1.
So here's the thing, Kavi. The game already was announced. They announced that they're going to start working on it the moment Dispatch is done. So
Hey, they're working on it.
So I don't see a trailer or anything like that happening.
Damn. How about brand new AAA game? Brand new IP AAA game gets announced.
But
Which company though?
Yeah, which company though?
I don't know. I feel that a new IP is just so rare nowadays by a AAA company.
A Ubisoft new IP.
Oh my god, that is. I mean, you basically don't want anyone to win right here or right here. Just locking that out completely. Like if you said,
I mean, he could have said, he could have said a new Rockstar IP.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think we're in the year of new IPs anymore. I think outside of like indie games, obviously, But I think we're now at the moment where it's like for instance, like we knew about for Capcom Pragmata, we knew about that for a few couple years. It just wasn't called Pragmata yet, or it was, I don't remember. It was called like Project something. Now we kind of know what it is. We've seen sort of gameplay for it. It's, you know, some crazy dream pipeline whatever game that who knows if it'll actually be good. I don't see any company being wild with like announcements of like kind of super out of the blue stuff. I kind of expect updates for games, really. Like the biggest announcements would be like, you know, the next Final Fantasy, or here's a gameplay trailer for Elder Scrolls, or stuff like that. I don't see a new IP.
Maybe they make the Resident Evil 9 Requiem demo available for all. Like, here's the demo, play it. Or some sort of demo.
I feel like that also goes to the Shadow Drop, where they're like,
oh, okay,
here's the demo, play it today, download it right after the award show or whatever, right?
True. New amiibos.
Whoa. 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 Outlasted Funko
Only,
Pops. Whoa. I still have my Dread amiibos on my desk because I was using them on my last stream. Shit, man. I'm really trying to think of like what were some major announcements. Okay, here. So some of the past major announcements that they did. Of course, I'm just saying world premiere. It's kind of a given, right?
Okay, so what's another Xbox exclusive that needs to go on PlayStation? Because right now they have Gears and Halo is coming out. What's another exclusive that could be like, this is coming to
Sunset Overdrive?
Oh, God.
Fable?
That Fable is dead.
That's because it was on Xbox. They need to bring it to PlayStation.
I'm trying to curate
a new FromSoft game.
Okay, so last year, here's what got announced at Game Awards: Elden Ring Night Rain, Borderlands 4, Ragpunk, Dispatch, Dying Light the Beast, Split Fiction, Splitgate 2, Rematch, Mecha Break, The First Berserker Kazan, Mafia the Old Country, Killing Floor 3, Sonic Racing, Outer Worlds 2, Tales of the Shires, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, Midnight Murder Club, and Shadow Labyrinth. Those were the games that were announced last year.
Okay.
Oh, you know what, guys? Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Oh my god. I'm still waiting for that game, bro.
All right.
As a Ubisoft IP, there you go.
That is a game that... Is it dead? I need to actually look it up if it's dead. If it's dead, I don't want to even hear about this. Why does their website still... Why does their website still have it? It hasn't been updated since 2020.
Oh my god. Ooh. Demon Souls 2, Dark Souls 5, or Elden Ring 2, or Bloodborne 2. Or Sekiro 2.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, it's dead. The game director departed Ubisoft.
Oh, that's why it's...
Yeah, like... Yeah, no, this shit's not happening.
They actually canceled it.
In 2021, it was reported as progressing well, but they didn't answer any more questions. And then the new director they had for the game died in 2023. Emily Morel, or Emile Morel, I don't know which one. Hey, you know what?
We need a new FromSoft
Sure,
game.
you know what? Here, let me. Well, new FromSoft, we're already getting Elden Ring DLC. That's kind of all we can hope for. Sure, let's
That's
put
just a DLC.
let's put Beyond Good and Evil. Sure, because apparently it actually is still in development. So, all right, there we go.
Damn.
This is the bingo card. Take your screenshot. I'll make sure I have it up when we stream the games awards
Next month.
in about 2 weeks and a bit. 3 weeks, yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, we are almost perfectly at the 2-hour mark. Well, not really. We're definitely over by a little bit. So I hope all you guys enjoyed our first ever cafe podcast. Thanks again to James, right down there in the corner. You can find him at Crystal Maiden TV on Twitch and other places on the internet that we might put near his name. Who knows? And my son, Kavi, right below me, who's lurking everywhere, but not really anywhere. Hope you all guys have a good night. And we will see you guys in maybe a couple months when the next podcast happens. All right. That's it, y'all. Have a good one.